We back in this thing. You already know what's up, your boy 100. And right now I'm finna watch Joe Rogan clip. Um Joe Rogan talking about Jake Paul is about to fight. I think his name is Tyron Woodley. And supposedly it's supposed to be a more serious fight because the last couple fights he's just been dragging folks. Even though the last fighter was a UFC fighter, dude wasn't in shape. Dude wasn't known for his hands and got knocked out. So Tyron Woodley talking about he gonna really give him like real competition. He kind of said he gonna knock him out, but we'll see. Jake is still like 6'1", bro. Like he know what he doing. But let's see what Joe Rogan got to say about it. Let's see what Joe Rogan talking about. An ad, of course. Grace.
Hi, I'm John Valet, and today I'm going to talk to you about the landscape industry. Yeah, I know it may sound boring, but
I'll watch it later.
What did they do?
Ooh.
How did they get famous? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's supposed to be a UFC fighter on the ground right there. Knocked him out.
They piss people off?
Yeah, but they got famous first. This is what's interesting. They got famous first, and then it turns out they can fight.
This a dude,
especially Jake.
Supposed to be fighting.
That kid can knock people the fuck out. He knows how to punch.
Can he knock fighters out, though?
Well, we don't know. I mean, we saw Askren, right? But Askren, first of all, coming off of a hip replacement surgery, it's a brilliant move, right? You get a guy who's arguably the worst striker in elite MMA, which is Ben Askren.
Right,
and that's no disrespect to Ben
Knocked
Askren.
him
You
out,
probably
bro.
admit to that. Phenomenal
wrestler, right?
Phenomenal wrestler, like elite wrestler. Great guy. Not a good striker. You make him box. It's like the worst thing that he does. And then Jake Paul starches him with one punch. But he looked at his body. He looked severely out of shape. It looked like he hadn't trained for a long time and then kind of got in good enough shape so he could compete. The guy knows how to fight and knows how to win, but that's not his sport. It's not his sport at all. He just took a paycheck.
I'd like to see this guy, Jake Paul, fight someone.
He's going to fight Tyron Woodley.
Well, after he fight, can Tyron Woodley fight? Can he box?
I know he can punch. He punches really hard, but he doesn't punch like a boxer. He throws big bombs and sets up takedowns, and he can crack though. With one shot, he could f anybody up. But the thing is, like the way he throws shots, he'll throw like a bomb and then set up a takedown or set up a clinch. He's not a guy who's like going out there with peekaboo style, throwing jabs and hooks to the body. That's not his style. He's never been a guy who boxed. He's been a guy who uses boxing in MMA, but he uses everything.
Does Jake Paul beat him, you think?
Oh, we won't know until they get in there. The thing about it is he'll be the most dangerous guy that Jake's fought for sure.
If Jake Paul...
Not even close. Not even close. And no one more dangerous than Tyron Woodley.
All right, well, if he beats an MMA fighter, because
Tyron's not just an MMA fighter. Tyron is he's a UFC...
Selling physical products is not the best way of making money on Amazon in 2021. Now, yes, that model does
real clean,
world champion and one of the best welterweights of all time. If you looked at all the UFC welterweights of all time,
one of the best of all time, you say?
He's top 3. He's fucking phenomenal.
But there is something fundamentally different about MMA fighters fighting a boxer.
Yeah, because there's other stuff that you incorporate into your movement, right? You're worried about leg kicks. You're worried about takedown defense. You're worried about all these different things. So you have all these different variables on your plate. Now you remove all those variables. You give Tyron a pair of shoes and you just let him punch. He punches really fucking hard. And when he doesn't have to worry about wrestling, he doesn't have to worry about getting as tired, and he can pick his shots, he'll be the most dangerous guy that Jake Paul's ever fought, for sure.
I don't know.
But
I honestly feel like Jake is going to win again. Like, Jake has been focusing on nothing but boxing for years. My man used to be UFC this and that, and UFC this and those. He got hands, but he ain't been focusing on boxing. He been wearing the UFC look. Them ain't even, you know what I'm saying? Them ain't boxing gloves. Well, we gonna see though, I guess.
It doesn't necessarily mean that he wins. And I think Jake Paul can box. If you look at that Nate Robinson fight, I know Nate Robinson didn't know what he was doing, but the way he landed those punches, he cracked him and knocked him out moving backwards. He can move backwards and then plant. So he doesn't have like big wind up movements. Like his brother has more wind up shots. His brother was throwing more windmill-y type arm punches. Jake throws things straight and hard. They're dangerous, much more dangerous.
Here's why I have more respect for the older brother for what he just did.
Put him down.
Yes, he outweighed him by 40 pounds, but he got in there with perhaps the best fighter to ever get in a ring. I'd love to see how Jake Paul fares against someone similar in size that is a boxer.
Yeah. Well, you know what, man? He's only got a couple of fights. Here's how you have to look at him. Look at him like any other guy who only has a couple of fights. If you saw a guy who's coming up and he didn't have an amateur career and he's only had a couple of fights, you'd go, man, he's got some promise.
Yeah, no, but these guys aren't in it for the. Are they in it for the long haul to become boxers? They're
Jake
in it
says he is.
Seems like Jake in it for the long haul. He keeps talking about he want to keep moving up till he fighting like world champions. But we gonna see.
They're in it to become spectacles.
But imagine if this guy gets all the way up to a world title fight. Imagine if he actually works his way through some professional boxers.
That would be remarkable, wouldn't it?
It wouldn't just be remarkable, the money he'll be able to earn.
Well, how about fighting a recently retired? You know who would fuck him up right now?
Are you saying Andre Ward?
Andre Ward.
Well,
Even because he can't fight. Andre can't fight professionally anymore because he's had some physical problems. But Andre's still in shape. He's recently retired. Maybe he'll get mad.
Are you trying to set something up? Look at you
I
looking
know.
away. You're like the worst poker player ever. He's like, well, maybe. Maybe
I just
we'll-
know. I know. Look, that's my brother. I mean, I know that he's like.
Has he thought about it?
He's thought about it. You're right. A lot of money was put on the table for him to fight Canelo, and we still get. James and I still get asked about it, and he has that stick-to-itness.
Well, why would
I
you
don't know.
want to fight
Is this what we talking about?
Because I think it's in his mind, it's an exhibition, and
This is
I
a
don't
black man.
think that he looks at it as even a remote threat that it could tarnish his legacy or that he would have
He ain't
to
even got no
expend
weight
too
on
much
him for real.
physically. I think that he probably is sitting back looking at this and like, you know what? I could now secure not just my children's, but my great-grandchildren's futures. And I could, I think that there's a part of Andre, if you know him well, everything that I've set aside, he's got some dog up in him. If you ever watch his fights, if he gets hit, you'll see him, now I'm going to get you 4 times. He is a mean SOB.
I don't know who this is. I've
And I
never
think
seen
that there's
this.
a part of him that sees this and is like, these guys need to be put in their place, and I could do it pretty easily.
But do you think that Jake Paul would be willing to fight a guy like Andre Ward, Olympic gold medalist?
What if everything you've been told about making money with
Olympic gold
Shopify and
medalist.
e-commerce by
Yeah, don't
so-called
fight him, big
gurus
dog.
is a lie? They're just looking to sell you a
Don't fight him, big
Multiple
dog.
division world champion, undefeated fighter.
Keep doing
who's
what you're
still
doing.
Young.
No.
I mean, how old is Andre? 35?
Yeah, just turned 35.
Yeah.
36. 36.
He's still in the prime of his athletic career, or close to it, close enough to it.
But he's a little banged up physically. He basically,
You trying to sell this fight?
no, I'm
That's
not
what
trying
it
to
seems
sell
like to me.
it. Not trying to sell it.
Seems like you're trying to.
I would love for the guy. I would love for Jake Paul to be like, you know what? I'll take that on. So in that, but in my mind, it's like that would never happen. The
Well-
guy's very risk averse.
I don't know about that. I mean, Tyron's a risk. Tyron Woodley's a real risk, and he's also offering to bet Tyron his purse. He said he'll donate Tyron's purse to charity.
I noticed that. I noticed that Tyron did not take him up on that.
Yeah, not good. Yeah, I mean that's
I noticed that. I said Tyron is just saying, I'm not saying anything.
I think Tyron needs that money.
Yeah.
I think he's planning 100% on that money, and
He need that
if he were
bread.
to lose the fight, it's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think he's the biggest threat, though.
Hey,
that Jake
listen.
has fought. He can knock him out, and I think he's got a legitimate shot at hurting him. I mean,
There's
he
something-
fucking-
Hits hard, man. I have a question for you. What do you make of all of these?
I don't think he's gonna hit
These
him though.
exhibitions have like caught fire. I don't know if it's because of COVID that people began like thinking, well, if I gotta watch something, I'll watch anything.
Yeah.
And then they watch, and Tyson and Lennox are now talking about an exhibition that might happen.
These Paul brothers, Logan and Jake,
Yeah, they're
they're
doing their
making
thing,
some
right?
big money moves. They're
My
making
God.
a lot of money. And they got everybody talking about them, including us.
I'm gonna say the first fight against Nate, I was a little questionable because I saw Jake fight somebody before Nate, and he won, but it was like it wasn't a good fight. So when he fought Nate, I was kind of I don't know, what he can do. Once I seen him basically destroy Nate, I was like, oh yeah, my man got hands. So and I knew when he was fighting Ben Askren, I knew it was a wrap. I seen Ben Askren at the weigh-in, a wrap, over with. Now, old dude, black dude, Tyron Woodley. It depends on the shape he shows up in. If he shows up in fighting shape, for real, I feel like it's gonna be a tough battle. But if he ain't in shape, bro, it's a wrap again. Jake got him. Like, Jake got hands. Jake know what he doing. He trolling, but Jake got hands. You know what I'm talking about? And he bigger than Tyron. You know what I'm saying? Like, that matters. Size matters, bro. Yeah, we just gotta see when the fight comes. I don't forgot when the fight is. Let me look that up right quick. When do these boys fight? Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley. Where's the date? Shouldn't that be the first link? Don't you think that'd be the first link? Like, if I search the fight date, shouldn't it just pop up right at the top? Anyway, August 28th. They're supposed to fight August 28th. That's a long time from now. But we gonna see, man. I'm leaning towards Jake just because he's bigger and he's been training boxing, focused on nothing but boxing for years, and the other dude has been doing whatever. So we gonna see, man. But as always, if you like the video, you know what I'm saying, leave a like for your boy. Leave a comment, you know what I'm saying, comment your opinion, how you feel about the fight, who you think gonna win. Do you think Jake got hands? You think Jake a troll? You know what I'm saying? Let me know. And then subscribe for your boy. And see you in the next one, man.